You know what it is. Bible story time again. You can find the story for yourself in 1 Kings chapter 18, verse 1 to 40. Now for that, let's get straight into the story. Now here we're taken to the prophet Elijah, who's told by Obadiah, one of the prophets, that he was being searched for by the king of the time, Ahab. At the time, the king of Israel was Ahab, right? Now Ahab had a wife, right, called Jezebel. She was a Gentile, right? So she did not really know the Israelite customs or what to do in Israel or who Israel actually worshipped. So she thought it was a cool thing to bring a false god called Baal into Israel. Basically this huge statue full of nothing. Israel was forced to now worship Baal, right? And this has been going on for a while, and Elijah heard from God that God was sick of it. He did not love that his people turned away from him to worship a false idol, even though the 10 Commandments, one of the laws in the 10 Commandments was, you shall not worship any other God but me, because God at this point was getting jealous. So Elijah was going to go and win God's people back to him. But how was he going to do that? He then told Obadiah to tell Ahab that he was pulling up. And Ahab heard this news and he says, oh, for real? That troublemaker's pulling up? And he said, yeah, he's pulling up. Now, from there, Elijah had taken all of Israel and King Ahab to Mount Carmel. Now here, there was a little contest that was being held. Elijah was like, hey, whoever's God can set this bull on fire is the true God. So basically, each side had their own bull. Now Elijah chopped his bull up, put it on his altar, and then the prophets, the 450 prophets of Baal, chopped up their bull and put it on the altar. Elijah saw the numbers and said, I'm the only prophet of God. Meanwhile, your God needs 450 prophets? No problem. And now the prophets of Baal were doing anything in their power to try get the altar to be lit on fire. They were dancing, they were chanting, they were even cutting themselves. And Elijah was laughing. He was even making side jokes saying, is your God going to the toilet? Is he asleep? Is he on vacation? What's going on? Wake that guy up. You know what I mean? Elijah was so confident in God that he just had to make jokes. Now after that, Elijah said, now let me show you who the true God is. He prayed over the bull that he had prepared for the Lord, and then fire from heaven rained down and then burnt the bull. Now, what is the moral of the story? In whatever circumstance that you're in, just know to be confident in God. No matter what anyone says, if you're faced with unbelievers, then just be confident in him, because he will reveal himself to them. Now, you may not be in the same situation as Elijah, but you will definitely be in a situation where you have to defend the gospel, and therefore defend your God and have confidence that he will reveal himself to them. But until then, stay faithful.